So Bodha, what exactly are we supposed to do on Ugadi?
Good question. Ugadi is about alignment of body, mind, and time. There are 6 powerful practices that mark the beginning of this sacred year. The first one is Tailabhyanganam and new clothes. Start the day with a traditional oil bath. Tailabhyanganam. Use sesame oil preferably before sunrise. It purifies the body, balances the doshas, and symbolizes shedding the old.
But why does it have to be sesame oil and before the sunrise?
You see, Tatva, sesame oil is warming, antimicrobial, and packed with nutrients. A good massage improves blood circulation, strengthens the bones, and balances the body's doshas. And doing it at the sunrise? That aligns your body clock with the nature's clock, regulating your hormones, enhancing alertness, and giving your system a clean state.
And wear new clothes. It's not just for fashion. It's a signal to your inner self that you're stepping into a new cycle with freshness and intention. Now that we are groomed, whom should we worship? Lord Ganesha, Vishnu or Shiva?
Great question. On Ugadi, we worship Kala Purusha, the embodiment of time. In Sanatana Dharma, time isn't just a measurement, it's a living force. The reason we say Tithi, Varam, Nakshatram and Sankalpam is because each of these represents the movement of the divine energies.
But how do we worship time?
Recite the Purusha Suktam if you know it. If not, the Vishnu Sahasranamam is perfect because it embodies Vishnu as representing the all-pervading energy that sustains time.
Bodha, is it only spiritual or does it have a scientific angle too?
Of course there is. The vibration of these mantras calm your nervous system and shifts your brain waves to the meditative state. It's not just a prayer, it's sonic medicine.
So the puja resets the mind like the oil bath resets the body.
After that, wish everyone around you with positive intentions. Let your vibrations lead the day.
Now to the legendary bitter chutney. Is there really a reason behind that?
Absolutely. As per Shastras, this is what you eat first on Ugadi. It's called Nimbapatra Bhakshanam. The shlokam says, Yadvarshaudu Nimbasumam Sharkaramla Grutaryutam Bhakshitam Purvamai Syat Tadvarsham Saukhyadayakam. Meaning, whoever eats this on Ugadi accepts life's experiences with balance and gains well-being throughout the year.
Can you share the recipe of how the Ugadi chutney is made?
Sure. You mix neem flowers or leaves with the 6 essential tastes of life that represent the 6 emotions. For bitter, you add neem leaves or flowers that represent the challenges in life. For sweet, you add jaggery. This represents the joy. For sour, you add new tamarind for surprise element. For salty, you add cow ghee or rock salt for grounding. For spiciness, you add pepper for energy. And for umami, you add raw mango for complexity. Now, you should make sure that you do not use chili powder or green chilies for spicy or table salt or sugar. Let me tell you the shloka that is recited while consuming it. Shatayur Vajra Dehaya Sarvasampat Karayacha Sarvarishta Vinashaya Nimbakadala Bhakshanam, which means consuming neem leaves or flowers will make one strong and healthy and drive away all the ailments.
I did not neem had so much superpower.
True, Ayurveda says Arogyam Niyati iti Nimbaha. Neem leads to the health. It's a natural detoxifier loaded with antibacterial and antiviral properties.
But why exactly neem when there are so many other antibiotic fruits, say turmeric or garlic?
Wow, a good question. Do you observe that our sages point a plant, fruit or a vegetable in certain phase of time? Like jujube leaves and broad beans on Ratha Saptami, gooseberries in Kartika Masam, and so on? It's because certain elements in nature have their best energies and nutritional potential at certain time phase. To use it then gives the best to the body.
So a bittersweet start but with a purpose.
Now to the Vatsaranga Shravanam or Panchanga Shravanam. This one's truly ancient. Panchanga Shravanam is the traditional reading of the year's astrological forecast by a Siddha Purush or a well-versed scholar.
But what does this Panchangam actually contain?
It contains of 5 elements: Tithi, Varam, Nakshatram, Karanam and Yogam. Our ancestors used them to predict rains, harvests, even calamities without a single telescope or any equipment.
Sounds impressive, but it is just astrology, isn't it?
Hey, it's not just astrology, it's a blueprint. In ancient times, people of all Varnas gathered to listen to the yearly Panchangam. It not only constituted as a social gathering bringing all together irrespective of their occupation or status, but also the predictions about rainfall, harvest, possible epidemics, spiritual timings. It helped them plan their year with clarity. And these weren't guesses, they were based on precise planetary calculations. Long before telescopes, our sages predicted eclipses and planetary alignments with stunning accuracy.
Can we not read them ourselves?
Of course, but it would make a lot of difference when we hear it from a person with Siddhi. They will provide us with solutions that would counter any ill effects one might have in their ear.
But is there any proof for that?
Okay, let me ask you something. Do you believe the phases of moon affect the ocean waves?
Of course.
Then think about it. Wouldn't it affect us? Our bodies are also made of 70% water. Also, our ancestors asked us not to sleep with your head to the north. It was called a bluff till we came to know that it's because of our body's magnetic flux that can ripple against Earth's, affecting the blood flow. Point to understand is, not everything is discovered by science yet. There was a time when Copernicus' heliocentric theory was mocked upon. Our acharams were laughed on, but all were forced to follow it during COVID. We do know what the truth is now, don't we?
Wow, they were geniuses, weren't they?
Oh, they definitely were. Panchanga Shravanam was astro-neuroscience plus meteorology all in one community event. Moving on to the next.
One of the most powerful acts you can do on Ugadi is Prapadanam, that is offering with intent, especially water. Why water? Because Ugadi falls during early summer and water is life.
So even something simple as keeping a bowl of water for birds count?
Absolutely. And if you can do more, like setting up public water pots, contributing to the water huts, or supporting someone, do it. Prapadanam isn't just about charity. It's a sankalpa, an intention to give as the year begins.
And if I cannot step out?
Then support someone who is already doing it. Even a small digital donation carries a vibrational merit when it's done with pure intent.
OMG, I've always thought that these were just rituals, but turns out they're nature's way of whispering secrets. If you're wise enough to listen though.
And when tradition meets awareness, every act becomes medicine for the body, mind, and the soul.
And for being aware, one needs to be curious like me, isn't it?
Yeah, can't agree more. You know what? A learned man once asked me, why is the day before Ugadi called Toli Amavasya when it's literally the last day of the year?
That's a brilliant question. Toli means first and Amavasya means the new moon. So calling it first when it's actually the last sounds odd. But there's more to it, right?
Exactly. It's called Toli Amavasya not because it begins the year, but because it clears the way for the new year. Like New Year's Eve, it's the final day of Falguna month and the very next sunrise marks Chaitra Shuddha Pajami, the beginning of a fresh cycle.
So it's not the first day of the year, but the first Amavasya that's connected to a new beginning.
Yes, Toli Amavasya is thus symbolic of closure and helping people close karmic chapters, clean their homes and thoughts, preparing the energy for the new beginning.
A cosmic cleansing before the divine reset of Ugadi.
Ugadi isn't just the start of a new year, it's the moment time takes its first breath, again. And every breath you take today can rewrite the story of your next 365 days. From rituals that realign your body and mind to age-old wisdom passed through the generations, this day is your spiritual reset button.
So pause, reflect and realign. Because Ugadi isn't just about what you do, it's about how you begin.
And if you begin with awareness, this year will not just pass, it will elevate you. So what is it called in your region? Which ritual did you love the most? And which one did you try this time? Comment below, we are reading every single one of them. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Bodha Hoots for more interesting content like this. Happy Ugadi to everyone!